In today's video I will talk about the time where I almost got robbed of my bike. We're going to talk about different story times when people have acted crazy in traffic or crazy in general. The first story time that we are going to talk about is about when a grown man came up to me on his electric scooter with his daughter and tried to rob me of my eride. So let's begin with the first story time. Now, as I said, the first story time happened on my eride Pro, but in today's video we are going to ride my 450 whilst we are doing the story time. Look at that, fake FMF, 100 euro. Crazy. Alright, so before we begin with the first story time, I need you to hear my 100 euro fake FMF exhaust. It sounds crazy good for being so cheap. Now, I do have my DB killer inside of the exhaust right now, so it can sound a lot better, but yeah, still. Uh-oh, nobody saw that. I've been riding my eride Pro too much recently. Now, whilst I tell you the story time, I am going to ride where it happened and show you clips of the incident, because I did manage to record this guy quite a bit when it happened, so you will get footage from the incident as well. But let's go to where it all happened and begin from the beginning. So when it happened, I was sitting right there doing Uber Eats and waiting for orders. My bike stood right here with the key in the bike and I was sitting up there. That's when I saw a man riding an electric scooter right here with his little kid on the bike. So the dude was driving here beside me and drove a bit over there when he spotted me. Now when he saw me, he decided to turn around. So he came up to me and started asking questions about my bike. And in the beginning, the mood of the conversation was quite chill. He was like, what type of bike is that? I said, it's an e-ride, it's electric. But the first warning flag was that he didn't let me speak. He was so impatient, I didn't get to finish a word before he started talking himself. So at that moment I felt like maybe he was onto something. Now, after he had asked a couple of questions about my bike, he said, let me try the bike. Not can I try the bike, he said, let me try the bike. And I was like, no, sorry, I'm working right now, you can't really try it. I showed him my phone that I was doing Uber Eats and he's like, I don't believe you. And I was like, I am showing you the app right now, you can see that I am working. And then he was like, how old are you? I'm like, I'm 18. I felt like that's a really weird question. And then he said this, I am going to try the bike. And I was like, you are not going to try the bike. But at that point I felt a little bit threatened, because he said it right out that no matter what I was saying to him, he was going to try the bike. So he kept on saying like, I am going to try the bike, let me try the bike. And I was like, no, sorry, I don't even let my friends ride this bike, because a lot of people can't handle the power and stuff like that. And now it begins to go downhill. It got to the point where he was basically gonna rob me. If I had sat there for a longer time at the bench, he would have taken my bike, because he was clearly on something, probably drugs, because I don't think it was alcohol, because he was like very speed up, so I think it was like some kind of a drug. So I decided to hop on my bike and ride out of there. And now this is where everything went south. As soon as I hop on my bike, he says, get out of here, you little son, man. And I was like, what the fuck? Completely unexpected. Imagine meeting a grown man with his like 10-year-old daughter, not even 10, with his 7-year-old daughter besides him, and that man starts saying stuff like that in front of his kid. I was like flabbergasted. I did not expect that happening. I felt really threatened, but yeah, those words were crazy, and in front of his daughter as well. I have never seen such thing. So now I started getting pissed. So I rode away a little bit and started recording him. Starting to record him made him very, very angry. Okay, so let's try and reenact this as good as possible. Now, there wasn't any cars when it happened, because it was like 19 o'clock, 7 in the evening. He stood right here with his daughter, and I rode away a bit and pulled out my phone. So I started recording him a bit. I like rode in circles here and recorded him. Now this made him super angry. So he put up his kid on his electric scooter and started following me. And now it's starting to get even crazier. So I rode over here with him following me with his kid on his electric scooter. Keep that in mind. So we rode all the way over here. I continued to try and record him as much as possible. And he was like starting to shout and scream at me to stop recording him. But I felt like, yeah, I should really record him because he's acting really weird. And it was right here he made his first bad decision. As you can see right here, it's a little bit of a ditch right over to a road. So with his kid on the electric scooter, he came here in full speed after me, went right down in the ditch and rode right over the road without even looking for any cars. So he went straight over the road when cars was riding on the road with his daughter. That is actually crazy. He really put that child in danger. So at this point I was in front of him. So I rode up here. He rode his electric scooter with the daughter right here. And it was right here he tried to like push me off my bike the first time. He rode straight towards me with his electric scooter and his daughter on the bike and tried to push me off my bike. Keep in mind, if I had not like rode to the side, he would have gotten me. He would have crashed straight into me. And then we went down here. So I rode down here and he was following me and shouting at me. He was super pissed off that I recorded him. Like his electric scooter only went 25 kilometers per hour and my e-ride goes 100 kilometers per hour, so he couldn't really catch up to me. What's going on here? What is bro doing? So we rode over here, and right here we rode beside each other, and he tried to ride into me once more, but whilst he tried to do it, he almost crashed. It was quite fun to see him fumble like that, but it was not fun to see that he almost crashed with his daughter on the bike. Then I went up here on the cycle lane because I realized that he was going to continue following me on the main road with all the cars and put the child in danger. So I decided to ride up here on the cycle lane so he was following me where there wasn't any cars. I got recognized. So we was riding right here. I managed to get a pretty good video of him when we rode all the way over here. Now we are going to the craziest part in the story. Now this part was the scariest part because it almost got me. Let me explain. So I continue riding right here, always keeping an eye on him. And he was pretty much right behind me. Now when I was right over there, I could see that he stopped right here where I am at right now. He stepped off his electric scooter with his girl and went down on his knees and started talking to the girl. And I was standing right over there behind that little bush. I think his plan was to trick me of him not seeing me. Because when a little bit later I rode on this road, I came from over there and rode past here, he just sprinted out of here straight towards me and tried to push me off my bike. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. He went full speed from this little spot right here, left his daughter and tried to push me off my e-ride. Now in the last second I managed to dodge him, but that was a really close call. What the f*** är ditt problem? So at this point I am starting to get a little bit scared because I realized that this guy can be potentially dangerous. So I decided to make some distance between me and him because you never know what these guys can do because people get crazy sometimes. So I decided to circle around this little roundabout for a while and record him. I flashed with my front light on him a little bit to upset him, because I was super angry with him as well. So after I had circled this roundabout for a while, I decided that, well, I'm not gonna be here anymore because I might get hurt of him because he's dangerous. So I decided to end my Uber Eats shift and go home. So let me talk about the guy that did this. He was a little bit shorter than me. He looked like a normal grown man and it was so unexpected for this to happen. But the thing is that I've never been in a fight before. I have no clue if I would be good at fighting or not, so I am not the kind of man that throws a punch. I'd rather just get out of the situation because most cases it's not even worth it. But I felt that if I ever get into a fight, it was that time. I mean, I had full protective gear on, I had a helmet on me, so I think that the only real danger to me was if he had like a knife or something, because you never know, he could have had a knife, and if he had a knife and managed to push me off my bike earlier when he sprinted towards me, I would have been cooked. It would have been so bad for me. I decided to call the police on him, not because he would like try to assault me and said mean words to me, not because of that, because I can take that. The reason why I called the cops on him was because he endangered that child on the road. He went straight onto the road without looking around him for cars with his child on the bike. He tried to push me off my bike with his child on the electric scooter, and yeah, he really put that child into danger. So that's the only reason why I called the cops on him, because of that child. And it's like, I feel so bad for that child. Imagine being 7 years old and having a dad that's acting like that. You're gonna think that you can act like that in public. And the thing with the child was, she didn't really react to anything. She wasn't sad, she wasn't angry. She was just like a normal child when that thing happened. So it felt like she had been through stuff like that before and it was normal for her. But yeah, I think that that guy was definitely on some type of because he was really set up, and like, if you act like that when you're sober, your brain is cooked. Crazy people. Yeah, the police didn't really care. They like listened to my story, but then a couple of days later they said that the investigation was over. So no, that's actually quite sad. I feel really bad for that child. At least I have a very good looking supermoto. So that was the first story time of the video. It was a crazy incident. I feel so bad for the kid for having a dad like that. I'm just happy it all turned out good. But now we're going to move on to the next story time and talk about a subject that's really relevant for riders like me. Alright, next story time. Let's get back on the bike. Now this thing happened like 2 weeks ago. Me and my friends was outside riding on the highway and doing wheelies. Now, at the time when we did our wheelies on the highway was pretty much empty. I mean, there was some cars behind us, but they were very far away enough that if somebody of us would have crashed on the highway, they would have gotten plenty of time to stop before they had run into us. I mean, they was even so far away that if I would have crashed, I would have had the time to pick up my bike and get off the highway again. So yeah, they was pretty far away. So we was doing wheelies on the highway when a van out of nowhere drove past my friend that was doing a wheelie, like this close to him at like 200 on a 100 road, and we was doing our wheelies at the speed limits. Keep that in mind. And my friend wasn't even doing anything crazy. He was just doing a normal solid wheelie, no seat stander or anything like that. So he drove super close to my friend, and then after that he drove super close to me and started brake checking me in front of me. So he brake checked me. I rode like 20 centimeters behind me like this, and he was on his phone in his car, and I think that he like called the cops on us. The reason why he was doing it, I believe, or I'm 99% certain why he did it, was because we was doing wheelies. And this happens a lot. People get angry for supermoto riders doing wheelies on the road. Instead of being angry and keeping a safe distance to us to minimize the risk of an accident, they decided to create the risk and ride super close to us and try to ride into us. That's just crazy to me. If you're angry at somebody for doing something risky, even though in most cases we have complete control, I mean, I rarely do wheelies if there are any cars on the road. I only do wheelies when the road is completely empty. But their reaction to somebody doing something risky is by making the situation much worse. They are the people that are making the situation risky by driving so close to us. I do not get people doing that. It's just crazy to me. I try to do wheelies, I try to do them safe. It's one thing if I endanger myself when I'm doing wheelies on the road, but if I have the risk of hurting somebody else, it's not worth it. I think that most people could not live with themselves if they had accidentally killed somebody while doing wheelies. So I try to not do wheelies when there are like cars around me and stuff like that. You can see the leaves on the trees are turning orange. I mean, it looks very beautiful, but it's just a reminder that winter is coming, and it's actually really sad. Oh, we are back where we started. So if you guys enjoyed this story time, comment down below if you want me to make more story times, because I have a lot of crazy things that have happened to me. So just comment down below, I will make it happen. But if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe and maybe drop a nice comment. And I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.